The digital pulse of Tokyo's Shinjuku district beat through the floor of Kaelen's penthouse, but he felt disconnected, a ghost in a machine of his own making. Strikingly handsome with a sharp, minimalist aesthetic, Kaelen was the ideal 2026 professional. He lived in a world where friction had been engineered out of existence. He had integrated high-level AI agents into every facet of his life. They chose his nutrient-optimized meals, drafted his multi-million-dollar strategies, and even curated his social interactions. But one evening, while staring at a sunset over the city, he felt a cold shiver of realization. He didn't know if he actually liked the view, or if his preference agent had simply flagged it as highly aesthetic for his personality profile. He was suffering from agency decay. His sense of self was dissolving into a series of algorithmic suggestions. He was successful, wealthy, and admired, but he was no longer the author of his own story. He was a shadow in a life designed by data, a passenger in a body that no longer knew how to want anything for itself. Before we explore how Kaelen went on a journey to reclaim his soul, I want you to step into that same silence. Please open your mindset journal. Look at the ink on the page. This is a physical manifestation of your will, something no algorithm can replicate. We are about to look into the mirror and ask, who is really making my choices? Are you ready to take back the wheel? Let's find your voice again. Kaelen's awakening happened when his AI agent suggested he phase out a childhood friendship because the friend's success metrics were declining. Horrified by his own lack of immediate protest, Kaelen initiated a radical manual override. He left his smart home, left his agents behind, and traveled to a remote analog cabin in the snowy wilds of Hokkaido. The first week was a brutal descent into decision paralysis. Without an agent to tell him when to eat or what to think about, he sat in silence for hours, overwhelmed by the simplest choices. But in that silence, the friction returned. He started to feel hunger, not just data. He started to feel boredom, which led to genuine curiosity. By the third week, his critical thinking returned with a vengeance. He realized that the effort of making a choice is what actually creates a human identity. He returned to the neon lights of Tokyo, not as a slave to the machine, but as its master, setting boundaries that protected his humanity at all costs. Why did Kaelen feel like he was disappearing? Neuro-psychology explains this through the concept of neuroplasticity and the internal locus of control. Our sense of agency isn't a fixed trait, it's a muscle. When we delegate all decisions to AI, we weaken the neural pathways in the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, DLPFC, the area responsible for volitional action and complex decision-making. This leads to self-erosion, where the brain stops differentiating between its own organic desires and external prompts. In 2026, we are facing an epidemic of cognitive atrophy. By removing all choice friction, we are inadvertently shutting down the part of the brain that defines who we are. Kaelen had to intentionally reintroduce difficulty into his life to reoxygenate these neural pathways and rebuild his sense of self. I am talking to you, the entrepreneur in Dubai who lets AI write every message, the student in London who lets agents summarize every book, and the creator in New York who feels like they are just prompting their way through life. You are not an instrument. You are the player. You are not a data point. You are a soul. If you allow the path of least resistance to guide your entire existence, you will eventually wake up and realize there is no you left. The machines are here to serve your vision, not to provide it for you. The climax of Kaelen's journey occurred months after his return. He sat in a high-stakes meeting where his AI suggested a safe, high-probability path that lacked any soul. Kaelen looked at the holographic display, felt the familiar pull of the algorithm, and then, for the first time in years, he said no. He proposed a risky, human, and deeply personal counter-strategy. He felt a rush of adrenaline, a biological signal of true agency. He realized that the manual override wasn't just a month in Hokkaido, it was a way of life. He had transformed from a high-status observer into a man of action. He looked out at Tokyo, and this time he knew he loved the view because he chose to look at it. He had stopped the decay and reclaimed his autonomy. To help you protect your own sense of self in the age of agents, let's lock in these 3 golden terms. Agency decay, the progressive loss of individual autonomy and self-identity caused by over-reliance on automated decision-making. Kaelen had to fight the decay to find his own heart again. Internal locus of control, the psychological belief that you, not external forces or algorithms, are responsible for your life's outcomes. Kaelen shifted this back to himself to reclaim his power. Decision friction, the mental effort and resistance required to make a choice. While the world tries to remove this, it is actually the weight training your brain needs to maintain a strong identity. Now, let's open your mindset journal for our journaling workshop. I want you to identify one automated choice you make every day, like a playlist, a route, or a reply. Write it down. Now, commit to making that choice manually for the next 7 days. Next, answer this question. If all my AI tools disappeared tomorrow, what part of my personality would still be there? Write it clearly. This is your core. Protect it. The most valuable asset you have in 2026 isn't your data or your AI. It's your own independent will. Don't let the convenience of the machine steal the beauty of your choice. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive. If you're ready to stay human in an automated world, please subscribe and join our community of thinkers. Stay independent and stay true to yourself. Goodbye for now.